working with a client who had quite a number of reports that were in place which were not used very frequently. So we kind of worked with the client to synthesize those reports, developed a few key KPIs which conveyed the concise of the information, designing the report in a format which was a very logical flow of information. So you go from point A to point B and you could get the key insights about the entire process that was put in place. So the main decision that was impacted by me was the overall design of the report and how was it to be presented to the end client.
We were in the solution phase for one of the car traders, Anand, and turns out that they already had a particular document, the kind of flow that they designed. And we went through it and we realized that there's a lot of data, especially image data, that they need to process. And now we started thinking about what would be a better approach to the overall solution itself. So that is when we proposed that we start with a classification model to identify the images that are of interest for the company as such, and then basically that model will split out the images into different images, different categories, and we process the data only on the important images that are required. And that way we reduce the load also and the turnaround time as well for processing all the images.
I'm currently working on a project with a client being an online portal for buying and selling cars. Their requirement was to train various computer vision models for various use cases. Now, to answer your question, what decisions did I impact, would be the decisions and methods that were used to automate the process of validation of the performance of these multiple deep learning models. I was assigned the task of creating various validation scripts for each of the computer vision models required by our client. The result of this was the process of validating around 10K images being automated and therefore saving time. The end result of each of this script was generating a CSV file where each of the image was validated as pass or fail by comparing their ground truth against their predicted results.
So I helped the client that I was working with make decisions with respect to their marketing spend. So traditionally what these guys were doing is they were just spending based on their intuition. So they had a marketing budget allocated for a month and they would just spend it according to their experience. So with our data-driven solution, what we have suggested is how best to allocate a marketing budget across the different marketing channels. So they have four marketing channels and how best to split it across. And one more thing that the client wanted to know was how best to spend it across weeks as well. So we tell them key in a month, spend this much in each category, and in each week spend so and so amount. So yeah, this was what I helped impact.
HVAC is typically a laggard industry where a lot of things are done on intuition basis, experience. So making it data driven was very important, more so in this case because it is a privately held HVAC company. So valuation and quickly turning them around was very critical. We took over their analytics UE for the three critical use cases. First one is related to pricing in terms of process. Typically a sales consultant would go to a client's house and he will give them some price either to meet his target or based on his intuition, meaning either he's leaving too much money on table or he's overcharging when client may go up. So we helped fix that problem using data-driven approach. So we looked at all the data, we fixed the problem. In terms of impact, it helped them save close to 1.5 million per year. That is how we enabled them. Talking about the second use case, it is equally important that once you get the business, you have to service this business. So you have to look at your labor. And labor in a seasonal market or in a seasonal business is very difficult to really plan for. So we looked at the data again. We helped them how best they can plan labor week by week, not only over month, week by week, how much to recruit. Final savings that we help them accrue is about 300K per month in terms of overtime saving, which is substantial for them. And also 16% utilization of labor. How can they plan better? So that is the second one. And third one is related to marketing spend in this business because it is a highly competitive market. Marketing spend becomes very important, but that split is happening because of intuition and their experience itself. So we have to give them something so that they have a rational approach to really divide that budget to increase maximum leads for the business. And final outcome that we accrued is about 1 million in revenue per month. So these are the three things and how we help client and how they use that.
Thank you so much for all of you joining in, sharing this. Just keep checking with people, asking the same question and sharing what you just shared here. Because we ultimately we're doing stuff, but people need to understand what we are really changing in the world because of that.